Hello, everyone, and welcome. Whether you're a parent trying to give your child the best start, a caregiver, or a pediatrician on the front lines, we are diving deep into something truly fundamental today, the science of early literacy. We're going to look at how it all works and what we can all do to build that strong foundation. So let's get right into it.
Okay, so let me ask you something right off the bat. When do you think a child's reading journey really begins? Is it that first day of school with the alphabet posters on the wall? Or maybe it's when they first start pointing at pictures in a book? Well, the actual answer, it might surprise you.
That's right, it starts at birth, from day one. Every little coo, every time you talk to them, every song you sing, that's a stepping stone. See, the foundation for reading isn't just about learning letters. It's built in that rich environment of language and connection from the moment they arrive.
So, to make sense of all this, here's our game plan. We'll start with when the journey begins. Then we'll get into the actual building blocks of language. After that, we'll talk about the magic of story time, how to spot any potential delays, and finally, we'll wrap up with a toolkit full of things you can start doing today.
Okay, first up, the reading journey begins. We're going to kick things off with a really important concept called emergent literacy. Honestly, this idea is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
So what is emergent literacy? Just think of it as everything a child is learning about language before they can actually read or write a single word. It's them figuring out that those little marks on a page mean something. It's them learning that stories have a flow, a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's this whole developing awareness that language is how we connect with each other. And it's happening all the time.
So, if emergent literacy is the goal, what are the actual bricks and mortar? Well, in this next part, language is building blocks. We're going to break down the two main ways kids process language.
Okay, this is so key to understanding how this all works. On one side, you've got receptive language. Think of this as the input. It's all the language a child takes in and understands. Then, on the other side, you have expressive language. That's the output. It's their ability to get their own ideas out, through gestures, sounds, words, and eventually writing. And the amazing part is, both are growing at the same time.
And this process follows a pretty logical path. It's not magic, it's a progression. At first, kids just see letters as cool, unique shapes. Then they start to get that those shapes are actually clues. And then comes that incredible aha moment, when they connect that a letter makes a specific sound. And finally, after lots of exposure, their brains start to recognize chunks of words automatically. That's when they really take off.
So we've talked about the how, but the where and when are just as important. In our third section, we're diving into the power of story time, because a child's environment plays a huge, huge role in all of this.
Now, it's important to be aware that research has shown some environmental factors can put kids at a higher risk academically, and it's crucial to understand these are just statistical correlations. They absolutely do not determine a child's destiny, but they do show us that some kids might need a little extra support to build those foundational skills we've been talking about.
But here is the good news, the really powerful news. A single activity, shared reading, can make such a massive difference. Just look at this list. It's not just about boosting their vocabulary or getting them ready for school. It actually strengthens that parent-child bond. And get this, it's even been shown to reduce stress for parents. I mean, it is a total win-win.
And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? The data couldn't be clearer. There is a direct link. The more often a child is read to, the higher their language scores are. Kids who are read to every single day just have a much stronger foundation than those who are read to less. The big takeaway here? Frequency really matters.
This brings us to a really important topic, spotting potential delays. Now, the point of this is not to cause worry. It's the opposite. It's about empowerment. Because when you know what to look for, you can act early, and early action is everything.
And being aware is important because this isn't some rare thing. Somewhere between 5 and 10% of preschoolers have some kind of language delay. So, in a typical preschool class of 20 kids, that's probably 1 or 2 children who might be struggling. That's why keeping an eye on these milestones is so important.
And if there is one thing to take away from this section, it is this. There's this old myth that kids will just outgrow speech problems. The science is very clear. They don't. Identifying any issues early and getting support is absolutely the key to helping a child get back on track and thrive.
So what exactly should you be looking for? Well, this slide gives us a really clear checklist. Things like
no babbling by 9 months, or no first words by 15 months. Or maybe their speech is still really hard for strangers to understand by age 3. And a really big one is any loss of skills they used to have. These are just signals that it's a good idea to chat with a pediatrician.
Now, I want to pause here for some really good news, especially for our bilingual families. There's a stubborn myth out there that learning 2 languages at once can cause delays. That is just not true. In fact, all the research shows it actually makes the brain stronger. It enhances cognitive abilities. Sure, they might mix words for a little while, but that's a normal part of the process.
All right, let's get to the fun part. Our final section, your literacy toolkit. We've talked about the why and the what. Now let's get into the how. These are things everyone can do.
I absolutely love this quote because it gets right to the heart of it all. This isn't about drills or flashcards. It is about joy. It's about connection, enjoying the story together. That's where the real magic happens. So what does that actually look like day to day? Here are 5 super simple, super powerful things you can do. 1. Just talk about your day as you're doing things. You're building their vocabulary, filling out that input system we talked about. 2. Ask open-ended questions. Stuff that can't be answered with a simple yes or no. This gets their output system working. 3. Expand on their words. They say car, you say, yes, it's a big red car. You're modeling richer language. 4. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Repetition literally builds and strengthens the pathways in their brain. And finally, number 5, read every single day. Make it a routine, something special you both look forward to.
And for the pediatricians tuning in, your role here can be so incredibly powerful. We know from programs like Reach Out and Read that just providing books at well-child visits makes a real difference. Families read more at home. When you take a moment to model reading or even just encourage families and reassure them about bilingualism, the data shows it works. It boosts language scores. You can be such an amazing catalyst.
So, we'll leave you with this thought. The science is solid. Building a reader isn't complicated. It starts early, it's all about connection, and it's powered by the simple, joyful act of sharing a story. So the only question left is, what story will you share today? Thanks so much for joining me.